Hey guys, welcome to the Credit Shuffle Show. So today we're going to be doing a video looking at some of the best ways to redeem British Airways Avios. Now, if you're in the US, don't think that just because these are British Airways Avios, they're not useful in the US. You can use them on the whole of the One World Alliance, which of course includes American Airlines. And obviously they're pretty useful in the UK and Europe as well. So I'm going to try and make this video applicable to both Americans and British, both sides of the Atlantic. First of all, let's look at how easy they are to earn. So in the US, these are actually one of the easiest points currencies to earn. British Airways Avios, you can transfer points over from all three of the major credit card transferable points systems. So Chase Ultimate Rewards, Amex Membership Rewards, and SPG. And all those cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Amex Platinum, they have some pretty high earning rates. Chase Sapphire Reserve gets 3 points on travel and dining. The Amex Platinum gets 5 points on airfare. So it's easy to earn a lot of these types of points and then transfer them over from all three networks to British Airways, accumulating quite a large amount of Avios. That's in the US. In the UK, it's a little bit more difficult to earn these kind of points with a credit card, although there are still credit cards that you can earn them. This is the British American Express British Airways credit card, which I have. There's this blue card which earns, I believe, 1 Avio per pound spent in the UK or equivalent overseas. I think it's like that. I haven't used it in a long time. This is when I used to live in the UK. There's also a black card, a black American Express British Airways card. Now these two cards both get companion passes. The blue one, which I have, you have to spend £20,000 in a year. You can then get a companion pass when you book a reward. For the black card, you only have to spend £10,000 in a year. You can get a companion pass, but there is an annual fee of £195. Then there's also this duo of credit cards from Lloyd's. The American Express earns 1.25 British Airways Avios per pound spent. The MasterCard earns only 1.25 per £5 spent, which is awful deal, but I guess they just included a MasterCard because some places in the UK don't take American Express. Now let's first look at US domestic flights using BA Avios. So like I mentioned, you can use British Airways Avios to book flights on American Airlines, and you often get a better redemption rate, particularly on short haul and sort of medium haul flights, 1, 2, 3 hour flights, than you would using American Airlines' own miles. So if you look at this BA mileage chart, you'll see that there is a category, well actually the lowest category is flights below 650 miles in distance. This only exists in Europe. In the US, the lowest category is a redemption of 7,500 Avios for a trip up to 1,151 miles in length. Now let's take a look at an example. This trip from New York to Nashville, Tennessee, it's about 880 miles in distance, so it falls within that category of flights below 1,151 miles in length, and it costs 15,000 Avios plus £8.60, so it's about $10, using BA Avios on American Airlines. If you were to book the same trip using American Airlines' own AA points, it would cost you 12.5 thousand each way, so that's 25,000 total, plus $5 each way, so plus $10. So that's actually 10,000 more points you'd have to use if you book this trip with American Airlines' own points than with BA Avios. And BA Avios are easier to earn than American Airlines points as well. Now in Europe, using BA Avios to book, you can get some reasonable deals, but you often get hit with quite large fuel surcharges. This becomes even larger when you're booking long haul and business class, but even on their short haul flights, you are not going to be paying, $5, $6. It's going to be, in the tens, or whatever. So take a look at a comparable flight, London to Barcelona in Spain. This one is 933 miles in distance, so that falls within the category of flights below 1,151 miles. For this flight, a return ticket, you use 14,000 Avios. If it was peak, you'd use 15,000 plus £35, which is $50 thereabouts. So you actually have to spend a bit of money. It's not like loose change. You actually still have to spend So it's more like a discounted flight rather than a completely free flight, you know? Heavily discounted, obviously, but you still have to pay a bit of money when you're redeeming these in Europe. But in Europe, you do have that lowest category of redemptions, very low redemptions, 4,500 each way, and that's for below 650 miles. So London to Paris, for example, or London to some other cities in the UK, like London to Manchester, 9,000 Avios plus £35. Now we're going to get into some long-haul bookings and also business class, because I want to show you some ways that you can kind of smartly avoid those massive surcharges that you get when flying in and out of the UK. So here's a British Airways business class reward flight from New York to London. You can see it's 100,000 Avios and then plus £964. That is about 1,250 US dollars. So basically the taxes and charges that go along with this supposedly free ticket are enough to buy another premium economy ticket on top of the ticket you're already getting. So it's actually quite a massive charge. Well, there are some ways of getting from the US to the UK avoiding those charges. One way that I quite like is using Aer Lingus. Now, Aer Lingus is not a One World partner, but they are actually still a partner of British Airways, and you can use your BA Avios to book with them, although it's a little bit more tricky because you actually have to phone up and book. You can't do it through their website like with the other One World partners. So here's what you have to do, and I will put a link to an article about how to do this in the description for this video. But basically what you need to do, you need to join Aer Lingus's membership rewards program, and that will give you a username and password that you can then use to log into another site called avios.com. And it's through this site that you can actually search availability of actually British Airways, Aer Lingus and Iberia. But what we're focusing on here is Aer Lingus. So you search the availability, you find the flight you want, and then you have to call up British Airways and use your British Airways Avios to book that flight. But you'll know there's definitely reward availability because you'll have seen it on this website. Obviously you will be flying into Ireland, into Dublin or Shannon. You're not getting to the UK yet, but you are avoiding that massive over $1,000 surcharge if you're going business class. Even in economy, it's several $100s. So let's have a look at what deals you can get. One way in economy on Aer Lingus, it's only 13,000 Avios. That's an amazing deal. So a round trip ticket is going to be 26,000 plus about $100 or so in taxes. That's very, very cheap. And in business class, off-peak, which is 2/3 of the year, and most people, if you have flexible dates, you should be able to book off-peak. It's 50,000 Avios one way, so 100,000 for a return ticket in business class, same as British Airways. Only difference is you don't have that massive $1,250 surcharge. You have like $100 or $200. But this gets you to Dublin. When you get to Dublin, if you want to go to the UK, you want to go to London or somewhere else, you can just use your Avios, a little bit more Avios, 9,000, to book one of those 650-mile British Airways flights that we talked about, and the distance from Dublin to London is within 650 miles, so it's 9,000 Avios plus £35. So even with flying business class to Dublin and then taking another flight to connect to the UK, it's only going to cost you about $250 in taxes, maybe even less. So you're saving at least $1,000 by doing it this way. And Aer Lingus is business class. It looks reasonably good. It's fully flat beds, big screens, reasonably modern. It may even rival British Airways business class, which a lot of people complain about because it has the seats that face backwards. Now I'm going to give you another way of using Avios, which is when you can't find maybe award availability somewhere, or you just don't have enough Avios to be able to book a whole flight, like you don't have 50,000 for a round trip economy, transatlantic trip, whatever. You can actually use the Avios you do have to get a discount off of your ticket. So, and I think this is especially useful in economy, or perhaps people who are on a budget and who don't spend that much on credit cards to be able to get that many Avios in the first place. You know, maybe you've got like 15,000, 20,000 in your account. So check out this economy ticket. This is New York to London again, and it's $571 return. It's actually a really cheap ticket already. But when you go to pay online, there are options for a discount, and you can exchange 11,500 Avios for a $98 discount. It's close to 20% discount. And for someone who's sort of trying to keep on a budget, that's a really great discount. Now, for people who are very fanatic about getting the best value out of their Avios, I gotta warn you, this isn't the best value redemption. You're only getting 1 cent or less value from your Avios, but this could actually be really useful to someone who's only got a small number of Avios and it's not enough for a flight and they're looking for a way to use them. Also, sometimes there's options to upgrade to World Traveler Plus, that's premium economy, for around $100 or $150. I often like to use this discount of, exchanging around 11,000 to 15,000 Avios to just offset the price of my upgrade to premium economy. So I'm basically getting a premium economy ticket for an economy class price. Okay guys, so there you have it. Those are a few ways of using Avios to your advantage to get the best deals. I hope that's helpful. If you know any other ways of using Avios, I know there are many ways that you can use Avios to get really good deals. Please leave your comments below. Maybe we'll even do a part 2 of these videos, or even looking at some other credit card or airline points currencies and how you can use them to your advantage in the future. Leave your thoughts below, what you want to see. Please subscribe to the Credit Shifu. We'll see you next time. Bye.